One day, my buddy Jay heads to the supermarket with a tiny shopping list. Just eggs and bread. That's it. He's on a budget, ready to be in and out in 5 minutes. But the second he steps through those sliding doors, it's game over. First thing that hits him, this amazing warm bread smell from their bakery, right by the entrance. The kind of scent that makes you feel cozy and hungry even if you already ate. Then they've set up these colorful flower bouquets right next to it, stuff that screams fresh and happy. And while Jay's brain is swimming in that feel-good atmosphere, he sees a table stacked with shiny apples and a sign that says local farm, pick today. His mind goes, wow, they care about quality here. Everything must be fresh, and he tosses a bunch in his cart. He hasn't even made it past aisle 1, and he's already primed to trust the store, to believe their products are worth it. So when he rolls into the pasta aisle and spots premium olive oil for way more than he'd normally pay, he goes, heck, if their bread is that good, I bet this olive oil is top-notch too. By the time he gets to the checkout, he's got cookies, organic veggies, a fancy bottle of balsamic vinegar, and a candle he definitely didn't need. The store never told him to buy all that. They didn't shove it in his face with a pushy salesman. They just set the stage so perfectly. The smell, the colors, the local signs, the premium layout, that his brain basically sold itself. That right there is pre-suasion in action. So here's the deal. Pre-suasion is kind of like setting the table before you serve dinner. You know, you light a candle, put out the fancy plates, maybe even turn on some chill music. You set the vibe. That way, when the food comes out, people already feel good. That's what pre-suasion does. But for decisions, it gets people in the right mental place before you even ask them to do anything. It's like putting their brain on yes mode before you even say the actual words. Once you see how this works, you'll start spotting it everywhere, from your local coffee shop to those sneaky politicians on TV. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how that works, step by step, using ideas from Robert Cialdini's Pre-Suasion. You'll see why we fall for these setups, how to spot them, and most importantly, how you can use them too, in a good way, whether you're pitching an idea, running a business, or just trying to convince your friend to go see the movie you want. So by the end of this video, you're going to have a toolkit to control your own decisions and influence others ethically, without getting hypnotized by the smell of fresh bread again. Okay, let's get into the juicy part. This is my favorite, attention channeling. Think of attention like a giant spotlight. Wherever you point it, the stage looks amazing, but everything else around it fades out, right? That's exactly how our brains work. We get hyper-focused on what's in the spotlight and ignore everything else. And if you know how to aim that spotlight, you can steer people's decisions before they even realize it. Let me show you how this plays out in the real world. Okay, imagine you're chilling, watching TV after dinner. The news pops on, and bam, the first story is a scary home break-in just a few blocks away. They show shaky security footage, terrified neighbors, the works. You feel that little knot in your stomach. Then, like 2 minutes later, they roll straight into a segment about how to protect your house. Maybe it's new alarms, fancy cameras, or a politician saying we need tougher crime laws. Suddenly you're thinking, yeah, we totally do. That's attention channeling. The news knows if they get you worried first, you'll pay more attention to any fix they serve up next, even if you'd never care on a normal night. It happens all the time, not just on the news, on social media, in group chats, basically anywhere you hang out online. Someone shows you a scary or shocking thing, then immediately hits you with a solution or a strong opinion, and you're more likely to buy in because your mind's still stuck on that first scary image. Or here's another one. Restaurants love to do this. They'll highlight their most expensive dish on the menu, even if they don't really expect you to buy it. Why? Because when you see that $200 lobster tower, suddenly the $40 steak seems like a bargain. Your focus lands on the insane price first, so everything else looks cheaper by comparison. So how do you actually use this? Here's one practical move. Before you pitch someone an idea, highlight one piece of good news that relates to your pitch. Let's say you're going to ask your manager to upgrade your equipment. Start by reminding them of a recent project that went really well, something you crushed. That way their focus is already on success, and it spills over when you make your request. It's like warming up their mental muscles. You don't walk into a gym and deadlift 300 pounds cold, right? Same with people's brains. You guide their focus first, so they're ready. Let's talk about association and context, because man, this one is mind-blowing once you see it. Here's the simplest way to get it. Your brain links stuff together, even when it makes zero logical sense. There was a study in a grocery store where they played French music in the wine section. Sales of French wine shot up like crazy. Then they switched to German music and German wine sold more. Just changed the music, changed the context, changed what people noticed. So association basically means whatever you connect your message to will color how people see that message. If you connect your pitch or your idea with something positive, people automatically see you in a better light. It's like you get bonus points just for showing up in the right vibe. Researchers once had job applicants sit on a soft, cushy chair, and other applicants sat on a hard plastic chair. Guess what? People judge the ones sitting on soft chairs as more friendly and open. That's nuts, right? You'll see this everywhere. Politicians wrap themselves in the flag, waving it behind them at every rally. They want you to associate them with patriotism. Or a brand might shoot a commercial in slow motion with warm sunlight, happy music, cute puppies, and suddenly you trust them more, even if they're just selling you laundry detergent. If you want to use this, just think, what feelings do I want people to have? Then connect your idea to something that already brings out those feelings. Say you're asking your friend to join you in volunteering. Don't pitch it like a chore. Talk about that time you had a blast helping people, or how good it felt to make a difference. Their brain will grab those positive vibes and stick them onto your invite. Or, picture this. You're asking for a raise. Instead of diving straight into money talk, start by reminding your boss of how much you love being part of the team. That's a positive association. You wrap your ask in good feelings, which makes them more open. It's like seasoning food. You can make plain old chicken taste incredible if you season it right. Same with your message. Spice it up with the right context, and people will swallow it way easier. Alright, so let's talk about this next idea. Moment right before the ask. This is the golden moment, like the quiet second before you toss a surprise party. You know something's coming and you want to set the stage perfectly. Cialdini talks about this all the time, and trust me, the science is wild. One of the best case studies on this comes from a group of social psychologists who wanted to get people to donate to a children's hospital. They tried the normal way, just walking up and asking for donations. People shrugged them off. Then they changed one tiny thing. Before asking for money, they asked, "Do you consider yourself a caring person?" Boom, donations skyrocketed. Because once someone says, "Yeah, I'm caring," their brain feels like it has to live up to that. They act caring to stay consistent. Another classic example, a study on blood donors. Researchers wanted more people to show up and give blood. Instead of blasting people with guilt or scary statistics, they first asked them, "Would you say giving blood is important to you personally?" That question alone made people 30% more likely to actually roll up their sleeves and donate. Okay, let me bring this to everyday life. Imagine you're pitching your team at work. You want them to get behind a risky but potentially awesome new project. Don't just pop in and say, "Here's the idea." Instead, remind them of that huge success you pulled off together last quarter. You could say, "Remember how we absolutely crushed that launch in March?" That moment right there builds confidence. It puts their brains on "we're winners" mode. So when you drop your risky new idea, they're already geared up to go for it. Here's one from my own circle. My buddy wanted to get people to sign a petition about cleaning up the neighborhood park. Instead of asking random people to sign, he went around saying, "Do you think people should look out for their community?" Of course, most people said yes. Then he followed with, "Great, would you sign this petition to protect our park?" Worked like a charm. So the next time you're about to pitch, sell, or even ask someone out on a date, don't skip this. Stop for a second and ask, what do I want them to feel about themselves? Give them a reason to see themselves in a good light, connected to the action you want, and then go for it. Okay, let's get into one of my absolute favorite ideas from PRE-Suasion: unity through shared identity. Man, this one is so powerful, it can flip a complete stranger into a trusted ally in seconds if you do it right. Because at the end of the day, we humans are wired to love our group. We're tribal creatures. We look for signals of who's like me, who's on my side. And if you can show people we belong to the same tribe, they drop their guard like you wouldn't believe. There was this study where people knocked on doors asking neighbors to sign an energy conservation pledge. Usually people brush off stuff like that. But the researchers changed the script. They told people, "We're asking good citizens of California to help us." Just adding "good citizens of California," reminding them of their shared identity, boosted participation by 30%. Think about it. You see this everywhere. That's why sports fans paint their faces, wave the same flag, wear the same jersey. They feel like one giant family, even with total strangers. Or why brands talk about the Apple family, or join the Tesla movement. They know that if they make you feel like you're part of something, you'll back them up harder. Back in 2011, Coke pulled off this genius move called Share a Coke. They swapped out their usual boring logo on bottles and slapped on real people's names instead. Names like Emma, Josh, Sarah, super common ones that made you stop in your tracks. Suddenly folks were hunting for their own name like it was a treasure hunt and sharing them with friends. Sales blew up because it made people feel personally connected. That's basically unity through a product. This is a good example of attention channeling too, since people zeroed in on their own names instantly. So the next time you want to persuade, ask yourself, what do I have in common with them? Could be location, values, hobbies, struggles, anything. Then shine a spotlight on it. When you highlight that connection, you're basically saying, hey, we're in the same boat, and people are way more willing to row with you if they think you're on the same team. Okay, so let's lock this down into a cheat sheet, like a quick quick little toolkit you can actually use tomorrow if you want. First one, always ask yourself, what do I want them to notice first? Before you pitch, sell, or even suggest something, guide their attention to what matters. Like, if you want someone to see the value in healthy food, show them a big colorful salad instead of a greasy burger. Their brain will line up with your focus, almost automatically. Next, build context. Remember the wine store music story? You can do the same with words, visuals, even sounds. If you're pitching a calm product, create a calm environment. Don't slap heavy metal music on it. If you want people excited, show excitement. Frame sets the tone. Third, the moment before the ask matters way more than you think. Warm them up. If you run a workshop, hype up how smart your audience is before you offer the upsell. If you run a coaching program, remind them how committed they already are to growth. Get their self-image leaning positive, and the yes comes easier. Number 4, play up unity. Make people feel like they're part of something, like you're on their team. Instead of buy from me, it's join us. Think about how Apple doesn't just sell you a phone, they sell you belonging to this tribe of creative rebels. People crave that. You can use it ethically to build loyalty and real connection. And the last one, keep it honest. Use these tools for good, not manipulation. Don't try to sell junk. Don't hype what you can't deliver. If you do, people will sniff you out and they'll bail faster than a cat from a bath. Cialdini himself says, if you wouldn't be proud to tell your mom about how you influenced someone, don't do it. So keep it clean. You can use these tools to help people stick to good habits. Like, you can test them literally today, whether you're asking your boss for a raise, run a nonprofit, run a gym, or even getting your kid to try broccoli or launching a billion-dollar product. And if you want to go even deeper, check out my video on influence. It's like the perfect combo with what you just learned. I'll drop the link in the description or pinned comment.